You deserve, my daughter, added the Grand Vizier, to be treated like the merchant's wife. Do not, sir, answered Scheherazade, think ill of me if I still persist in my sentiments. The history of this woman does not shake my resolution. I could recount, on the other hand, many good reasons which ought to persuade you not to oppose my design. Pardon me, too, if I add that your opposition will be useless, for if your paternal tenderness should refuse the request I make, I will present myself to the Sultan. At length the Vizier, overcome by his daughter's firmness, yielded to her entreaties, and although he was very sorry at not being able to conquer her resolution, he immediately went to Shahryar and announced to him that Scheherazade herself would be his bride on the following night. The Sultan was much astonished at the sacrifice of the Grand Vizier. It is possible, said he, that you can give up your own child. Sire, replied the Vizier, she has herself made the offer. The dreadful fate that hangs over her does not alarm her, and she resigns her life for the honor of being the consort of your Majesty, though it be but for one night. Vizier, said the Sultan, do not deceive yourself with any hopes, for be assured that in delivering Scheherazade into your charge tomorrow, it will be with an order for her death, and if you disobey, your own head will be the forfeit. Although, answered the Vizier, I am her father, I will answer for the fidelity of this arm in fulfilling your commands. When the Grand Vizier returned to Scheherazade, she thanked her father, and observing him to be much afflicted, consoled him by saying that she hoped he would be so far from repenting her marriage with the Sultan that it would become a subject of joy to him for the remainder of his life. Before Scheherazade went to the palace, she called her sister Dinarzade aside and said, as soon as I shall have presented myself before the Sultan, I shall entreat him to suffer you to sleep in the bridal chamber, that I may enjoy for the last time your company. If I obtain this favor, as I expect, remember to awaken me tomorrow morning an hour before daybreak, and say, if you are not asleep, my sister, I beg of you, till the morning appears, to recount to me one of those delightful stories you know. I will immediately begin to tell one, and I flatter myself that by these means I shall free the kingdom from the consternation in which it is. Dinarzade promised to do with pleasure what she required. Within a short time, Scheherazade was conducted by her father to the palace, and was admitted to the presence of the Sultan. They were no sooner alone than the Sultan ordered her to take off her veil. He was charmed with her beauty, but perceiving her tears, he demanded the cause of them. Sire, answered Scheherazade, I have a sister, whom I tenderly love. I earnestly wish that she might be permitted to pass the night in this apartment, that we may again see each other and once more take a tender farewell. Will you allow me the consolation of giving her this last proof of my affection?" Shahryar having agreed to it, they sent for Dinarzade, who came directly. The Sultan passed the night with Shahrazad on an elevated couch, as was the custom among the Eastern monarchs, and Dinarzade slept at the foot of it on a mattress prepared for the purpose. Dinarzade, having awakened about an hour before day, did what her sister had ordered her. "My dear sister," she said, "if you are not asleep, I entreat you, as it will soon be light, to relate to me one of those delightful tales you know. It will, alas, be the last time I shall receive that pleasure." Instead of returning any answer to her sister, Shahrazad addressed these words to the Sultan: "Will your Majesty permit to indulge my sister in her request?" "Freely," replied he. Shahrazad then desired her sister to attend, and addressing herself to the Sultan, began as follows.